Peace and blessings. It's Wednesday, April the 10th, the year 2019, and there are some advantages to having a wife that is a news addict.
Junkie.
She's a news junkie. She watches news all the time.
I'm waiting for the indictments.
My wife is waiting for the indictment. She found a nugget that's so good that I got to share it with you guys. I just cannot let it go. This is Sidney Powell. She wrote this book right here, okay? She wrote the book, License to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice, by Sidney Powell. That's her right there on the screen. We're fisting a play.
She looks good, doesn't she?
She looks good. This is a 30-minute clip, so I'm just going to play a portion. I don't want to break copyright. If you want to watch the full 30 minutes, I'll put the link in the description bar.
I wish she mentioned Steve Stockman.
Yeah, my wife says that she wished that she has mentioned Steve Stockman in the past. While we're doing this, I wanted to mention 3 felonies a day, How the Feds Target the Innocent by Harvey Silver Glate. You also have One Nation Under Arrest, How Crazy Laws, Rogue Prosecutors, and Activist Judges Threaten Your Liberty. And then, of course, you have this book, Only by Blood and Suffering, Regaining Lost Freedom by Lavoy Finicum. Of course, he was murdered by the FBI. Now, as you listen to this, she was a DOJ prosecutor. And she's going to answer a question, do you think that Obama did all of this? Don't blame the DOJ's problem on just Obama. Yes, Obama ramped it up. You'll hear her answer. But Ken Hovind wasn't targeted under the Obama administration. Even Schaefer Cox and Senator Ted Stevens were not targeted by the Obama administration. The DOJ and the FBI have been bad for a long time.
She said more than 20 years.
She said more than 20 years. We need to eradicate the FBI from America. We have a criminal investigation division within each state that we need to rely upon. We don't need a federal bureau of investigation that targets political dissidents. And I would offer we need a massive overhaul of the Department of Justice. Now I'm going to play this. I hope the audio is loud enough, and let's hear what Sidney Powell has to say.
No evidence of obstruction of justice, although that's what they should have said. They essentially said that they're not suggesting that he be indicted for that. That's the same thing as an exoneration, really. But yet they go on to throw red meat to the Democrats by saying, well, we can't really exonerate him. That's just baloney.
Mm-hmm. Your book came out in 2014.
Yes.
So you exposed Weissman then.
I did.
And then, I'm just thinking about the timeline. Why doesn't that sound alarm for Mueller?
Well, it should have.
Yeah.
But Mr. Mueller's been protecting and promoting Mr. Weissman for 20 years.
Okay.
Mr. Mueller had a hand in putting him on the Enron task force where he committed all the atrocities that I talk about in my book. And then Mr. Mueller brought him back into the FBI as his general counsel after that. And even though we filed a grievance against Mr. Weissman that was very compelling, and even though the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit found that Mr. Weissman plainly suppressed evidence favorable to the defense, Mr. Mueller kept protecting him. And then Leslie Caldwell, who's also in the book, brought him back into the Department of Justice when Loretta Lynch was Attorney General. And they became what I call the deep state transition team that then went about running the back channel with Christopher Steele and Bruce Orr to do the dossier, getting it to the FBI and through the DOJ and all that, long before Weissman went on the special counsel force. I mean, really, everything Weissman and Ms. Ahmad touched, she was running the back channel with Christopher Steele, too. Everything they touched should be thrown out for egregious government misconduct.
Everything.
And so you think Mueller knew all this and knew Weissman from inside out?
Oh, yeah. I think that's why he picked him for the special counsel operation, because he knew what a dirty prosecutor he is. As soon as I heard that they raided Manafort's home in the wee hours of the morning and picked the lock and, had Manafort and his wife wake up in their bed with guns in their faces and search Manafort's wife in the bed in her nightgown, that's textbook Andrew Weissman. I call it prosecutorial terrorist tactics.
Is it true that up till Obama time, when they hire new people, it will be very hard for the conservatives to go into the Justice Department? Is that true?
Not necessarily. I think the Department of Justice has gotten progressively worse over the last 20 years. It's been a slow process. Obama probably doubled it and ramped it up in terms of allowing prosecutors to run rampant over people's rights and target people. I mean, I've never seen such politicization and weaponization of all federal agencies as we've witnessed during the Obama administration. I mean, from the Environmental Protection Agency to the IRS to the State Department to the DOJ. He literally put SWAT teams in the EPA. I mean, militarized SWAT teams for the EPA and other federal agencies.
Never before in American history have the national security agencies worked so closely with one presidential candidate.
All right. Weaponization and politicization of federal government agencies. Did you hear that? What else did she say? Prosecutorial terrorism tactics. That's exactly what's going on. That's what we've been saying for so long. My only critique of this book, written by License to Lie, Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice by Sidney Powell, is that the later part of the book, she said that the Department of Justice, that, you know, the field that she's worked in her whole life, she got to the point where she lost faith in the system. I was like, it took you a whole book to get to that point? I mean, I lost faith in the system a long time ago. You know what I mean? It's like, all you got to do is look around and you'll lose faith in the system. And the reason the system has the power that it does is because Americans continue to give it power by their belief system.
Zooming In is the name of that channel.
We'll put the link if you want to listen to the whole interview. That was such a good nugget. We had to share it with you guys. Anything you want to say, Aaron, before I close out?
Like Zooming In TV.
Zooming In TV show. Thank God for voices like Sidney Powell. And we need to eradicate the FBI from the United States of America. We need a massive overhaul in our Department of Justice, and we need to set our political prisoners free.
Amen.